Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into API3, a really interesting project that's all about how blockchains get information from the real world. All right, let's just get right to it, shall we? The entire conversation, all the hype, and all the fear around API3 really just boils down to this one question. Is this a hidden gem with the potential for an incredible 10x return, or is it just a super high-risk bet in a field with some serious competition? Now, to really get a handle on what API3 is and what it does, we first have to wrap our heads around the fundamental problem it's trying to solve. And this is a big one. It's a concept that is absolutely crucial to all of Web3, the Oracle problem. You see, blockchains, by their very design, are isolated. They're in their own little bubble. They can't just go out and browse the internet to check the price of Bitcoin or see who won the big game last night. And that's where oracles come in. They are these secure bridges, the messengers that feed all that vital off-chain data onto the blockchain so that smart contracts can actually do something with it. I mean, without them, most of DeFi, decentralized finance, it just plain wouldn't work. So, knowing that, how does API3 decide to tackle this Oracle problem? Well, their solution is pretty unique, and it all comes down to one big idea: cutting out the middleman. So instead of relying on this network of third parties to go out and grab data and then report it back, API3's model lets the original sources of that data, we're talking about the financial institutions, the weather agencies, you name it, it lets them deliver it themselves. This is what's called a first-party Oracle model, and the whole point is to get that data source as close to the smart contract as possible. And the way they pull this off is with a special piece of software they call an air node. You can think of it as this super lightweight, direct gateway that connects a data provider's feed straight to the blockchain. By getting rid of that extra layer of middlemen, the goal is to reduce the number of things that can go wrong, making the data more transparent and ultimately more secure. Okay, so they've got this really unique technology, but what's the argument for some massive, explosive growth? Let's take a look at the bull case, the optimistic side of the story. The first point, and honestly, it's a huge one, is that oracles aren't just some passing trend. They are fundamental, non-negotiable plumbing for the entire Web3 world. As more and more apps get built on-chain, the need for reliable, real-world data is just going to keep going up and up. And this leads us right into the second argument, its size. Compared to the titans of the Oracle world, API3 has a pretty small market cap. Now, for an investor, that can mean one thing: a massive runway for potential growth. One source we looked at even talked about a safe margin of 1,000% growth, basically arguing it has so much more room to run than the bigger, more established projects. And this idea taps into a wider belief that some analysts have. This quote here, which translates to, "Betting on the Oracle niche is practically a sure bet," it really captures that feeling. The idea is that as the crypto market grows up, investing in its core infrastructure is just a really solid play. So to sum up the bull case, what have we got? We've got an innovative technology in a sector that is absolutely essential, with a small market cap that gives it a ton of room to grow. I mean, just think about it. If API3 simply returned to its old all-time high, that would be nearly a 10x gain from here. That's the kind of potential that gets people really excited. But, this is crypto. It is never that simple. So let's flip the coin and look at the other side, the big hurdles and the serious risks that API3 is facing. The biggest challenge? Well, you can't miss it. It's the 800-pound gorilla in the room, Chainlink. It is the dominant market leader, period. I mean, just look at this chart. Chainlink's market cap at the time of this data was more than 55 times bigger than API3's. That's a massive, well-established competitor with a huge head start. And remember that small market cap we talked about? Well, it's a real double-edged sword. Sure, it offers that potential for upside, but it also means it's way more vulnerable. When the entire crypto market takes a dive, it's the smaller projects like API3 that often get hit the hardest. They're just considered a much higher risk than the big established players. And to add to that cautious feeling, you've got some technical analysts looking at the price charts and they're not too thrilled. This source, DK Crypto Trader, puts it bluntly, saying, "We will probably have more of a drop." The suggestion here is that from a technical point of view, the price might have even further to fall before it finds a solid floor. So the bear case is pretty clear, right? You've got this small, innovative project in a really tough fight against a market giant, all while trying to navigate crypto's insane volatility and dealing with some cautionary signals from the charts. It's a tough spot to be in. So, where does all this leave us? Let's put these two completely different stories side by side and really understand the dilemma here. And this table just lays it all out. It's the perfect picture of a classic high-risk, high-reward investment. The bull case is all about that innovative tech and the huge potential for growth. The bear case, it's all about that giant competitor, the market volatility, and all the risks that come with being the little guy. At the end of the day, the entire success or failure of API3 really hinges on this one question. Can its unique first-party Oracle technology be compelling enough to actually carve out a meaningful slice of a market that is so heavily dominated by an established leader? And we're going to leave you with that final thought. In the brutal world of crypto infrastructure, can a clever, innovative solution really be enough to take on a titan? Thanks for joining us for this explainer. We hope you now have a much clearer picture of exactly what's at stake for API3.